Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here again from MJS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to those who haven't yet, I hope you do. In this presentation, all right, I just completed my 38th year coaching football, which I was a defensive coordinator, and I'm going to share with you in this presentation some of the things we did this past year and better part of 38 years, where I was also an offensive coordinator, a special teams coordinator, a longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. So, what is it in this presentation that I want to share with you? Well, it's how we adjust to a 3-by-1. Okay. And specifically, I'm going to talk to you about if we have one of our two match quarter coverages called. All right. So, today, this specifically, it's 3-4, our base and rotate systems. You'll see some that presentation. Check steal is the automatic versus what we call an 11 personnel. The formation is Texas or Texas off. Okay, and it's in the auto check for our match quarters, which is either gray 4 or gray 3. This is our auto check. Okay, and so the key terms check steal, that's a 3 receiver side. Okay, it's how we're going to cover 3 verticals, should all 3 go vertical. All right, and I'm going to give you the reasons for that. Okay, that ties in with our match quarters, grays 4 and 3. Invert is the 1 receiver side automatic check. That means they didn't check steal. That's the automatic to the 1 receiver, but I also have tags so we can play the 1 receiver side differently. Okay, but that's not in this presentation. All-state is in our base, and that is when the safety and the inside linebacker are comboing number 1 under 10 and the running back. Okay. Dabo is a call we make in our, I should have written it, sorry, in our rotate, where now it's the dime in the inside linebacker. Okay, again, comboing number 1 under 10 as well as the running back. Okay, again, this is on the 1 receiver side. So both Allstate and Dabo is on the 1 receiver side. Okay, both of those. And then check stack, I have a whole presentation on it, but in our base, that's an automatic AFC, as we call it, automatic front and cover when we have tight end off. Okay, 11 personnel, tight ends off the ball. Okay, so over here on the left, I have our base versus regular Texas, base versus Texas off. Over on the right, I have rotate tag versus, again, 11 Texas, rotate tag versus Texas off. In all 4, I'm going to teach you how we check steal on the 3 receiver side, and then in base, invert on the 1 receiver side with the, all-state combo, and rotate how we Dabo combo the 1 receiver side and also cover a vertical from number 1. Okay, so reasons why we check steal when it's 3-by-1. Well, our match quarters, both grays 4 and 3, right? Everything is based off of number 2. So 2-by-2, even a 2-back set, right? You have a number 2 on one side and on the other side, 2's in the backfield. Either way, right? In our base match quarters, we've got defenders reading and reacting off of number 2, right? Everything's surface to 2. In 3-by-1, everything is surface, then your assignment. See, there's only a number 2 in a 3-by-1. There's an extra receiver. The other side's number 2 came over and joined these 2 receivers. Okay, so you have to cover it differently for that reason. Okay, and I'm not crossing guys over, looking over to the other side for that number 2. That doesn't make sense. In a 1-back, more often than not, that back fits in the protection or check releases, so it's rare for us to see a 5-man protection. So therefore, you got the 1 receiver side doesn't really have a number 2 to go by. All right, so that destroys the whole premise behind the match quarters. There is no number two. Tell me what to do. So for that reason, we have to have a different way to play 3x1. And so this is our different way. This is our automatic way. Again, I can call something else. This is not the only way we play 3x1. But should an offense give us a 3x1 when maybe we weren't necessarily expecting it, we're comfortable with this automatic check steal with invert to the single receiver side, and we feel we can defend just about anything. Okay? So, with all of that background, here we go. I'm going to start off first with the regular Texas, how we defend it in base, and then how we defend it in rotate. Okay? I'm going to utilize green to do all this, to explain all of this. All right, so here's the three receiver side. We number them outside in, 1, 2, tight ends 3. The one away we deem X. We tag X to number 1 because the X, number 1X is usually their dude. They're hoping to get isolated one-on-one, so we'll show you how we handle that, okay? So over here, the rules are simple. Corner plays 2-to-1 vertical, so he's going to read and react to number 2. Okay, and so on the snap of the ball, assuming that it's always pass, that's why it starts surface, corner works to get over number 2, and if 2 is vertical, he's got it. Okay, and so in other words, we're going to cover 3 verticals and make the quarterback throw across the face of potentially the safety and the corner to get to number 1. That's not an easy throw. I mean, we're not talking Division I, Heisman Trophy, Davey O'Brien award winners. Your average, everyday, decent quarterback, that's a tough throw. And so to answer that question, if we're facing a kid who can make the throw on a routine basis, we're not going to play check steal. Okay, so let's assume that's just your average, ordinary quarterback. Safety's got 3-to-2 vertical. So his eyes, he sits on top of 3. So the safety makes just a simple Virginia call. If 3's vertical, he screams, Virginia, Virginia, Virginia. So the corner knows safety's not available. Okay? If number 3 does anything else, he goes inside or outside, and this is all under 10. You'd have to see my match quarters playlist. So he doesn't say anything. Then if 1 and 2 are vertical, the corner knows he can stay over 1 because he's got the safety over 2. See how that works? So Virginia, corner knows no help. He doesn't hear anything. He knows he can just focus on 1. Okay? This in our base is what we call automatic overhang. Both outside linebackers, Diamond Rover, are on the same side. Automatic overhang. Okay, please remember in our base, we're going to give you 2 high against everything, which means we have minimum box numbers. We have maximum in coverage. Okay, so dimes over 2, by what's meant by jam, you just deter his ability to stem and get up the field. Make that difficult. Make him slow down, have to avoid you. If you can get hands on him, awesome. But then FW is flat wheel. Okay, so he's going to get flat wheel. The Rover over 3, jam curl, that's easy because he's always knocking back. He hears pass because he doesn't see surface. The tight end's his world. His hips turn. He lets him go. Okay, and now he's expanding. Whoops, sorry, wrong diagram. He's expanding out, reading 2-to-1. Whoever is sitting in the curl area, he's going to get underneath. He's going to cut it. And if nobody's there, he's going to balance up, head in a swivel, find work. Inside linebacker, okay, surface shows pass. He looks 3 first, then the 2, because he has 3-to-2 in. So if 3's coming in hard, he takes him, cuts him, and goes, just like Gray 4. If 3's vertical or out, he stays. He doesn't expand. He looks for 2 coming in. Again, cuts him and goes. Neither one of them are ins, then he just mirrors the quarterback. So on the 3 receiver side, that's how we handle check steal. Over on the 1 receiver side, first thing he says, screams, when we hear check steal, invert, 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 which puts the corner boundary, in this case, up an outside press. Okay, so they're covered. The next communication is all state, all state, all state. So now the safety and the inside linebacker, the backer in this case, know that they're in combo. Because on the snap of the football, okay, he's not reading surface to wait to do this. On the snap, he's looking at the surface, but he's rotating down, screwing down anyway. He's what we call tempo bail. He's got one vertical. Okay, so safety screwing down an invert, he's tempo bailing because he's got one vertical. That's how we cover number one's vertical. The combo here, okay, that's the all state. As he's screwing down, he's got confirming pass. His eyes go to number one. If one's running a hitch, if one's running an out, safety's going to take it. I don't want the corner jumping it because it's an out and up. It's a hitch and go. We don't have any help over the top touchdown. So I want the safety tempo bailing. So I don't want him screwing out of there. So he's at 15 yards on a hitch. Tempo bail. And if one's not, humping it up the field on a vertical, then slow down, you pedal, right? Don't create too much space. So number one does anything sitting in the hitch. The combo with all stay safety will take it. One's coming in hard. Safety's there first. He can take it as well. But see, here's the combo with all state. If you get that kind of wheel and you got a slant from number one, safety takes the wheel. We'll let the backer take the slant. There's your combo, inside, outside. If the back is running an angle, backer will take that. He'll take number one. So that the combo all state. That's how we take care of it. Okay? Over here where it's a rotate. So same front. It's 50 grade 4, except, right? Now they come out. Right? It's still check steal. Except for now, please remember, right? When it's rotate, our structure mirrors the offensive structure. So in other words, they got one back, we got one high safety. Our structure is our safety structure. Theirs is the backfield. So they got one back, we got one high. We've got the extra guy in the box, the dime, right? 7 in the box, 6 in the box. 1 high, 2 high. See how this works? So now we could still play check steal. Corner's still 2-1. Now the middle safety's playing 3-2 vertical. He's still making a Virginia call. Telling the corner, you're on your own with number one. He doesn't say anything. He's reading number two. So if he sees two's vertical, he's screaming Virginia. Doesn't have to say Virginia. Not screaming Virginia. He's rotating over number two. Okay? So we play it the same out of the 1 high. Except now the free safety, who's 1/8, Ike over number 2 is the flat wheel guy. Rover's the same because he's on the tight end. Mike's the same. Now the combo over here is called Dabo because it's the outside linebacker and the inside linebacker. Out of respect to Dabo Sweeney, right? We have a dime and a backer. It may not always be the dime and the backer. Doesn't matter. It's a Dabo call. Outside, inside linebacker, right? In this case, dime and inside linebacker, it could also be the rover. If it's 10 personnel, but that's a different presentation. Okay, so Dabo. Well, first of all, we're going to show the same look. The corner is going to play one vertical, so he's going to tempo bail. Same thing. And you're more likely to get the vertical now because they see the 1 high. They'll signal something. Okay? But underneath, the same thing. He'll play like the safety did an invert, a hitch or an out. That's the outside linebacker. A slant with a wheel. Outside linebacker will take the back on the wheel. Inside linebacker will take the slant. Same exact concept, except here it's with the safety. Here it's with the outside linebacker. So see, there's very minimal adjustments here. We're keeping an extra guy in the box. We got a one high to match theirs. Just a different person is executing the same assignment. And that's why it's easy to teach. Okay? And now you got an immediate threat. There's a guy in the edge. He wasn't there the last time we gave this formation. Right? So again, that puts pressure on the offense to have two different plans themselves. Okay, and so they're the ones reacting to you, not the other way around. There's a tendency to think that the defense is put on just that, the defensive. When you have a plan A, your base, and a plan B, and they work off of each other, now you're putting the offense on the defensive. Okay, so now let me get to 11 Texas off. Pistol again on both. In base, check stack. That's our automatic front and coverage. Okay. So it's still on automatic overhang. It's check stack. It's still check steal. It's still invert. It's still all stuff. See, everything stays the same. Except now we're in a position if they started to do that bullcrap shuffle tight end motion stuff. Okay, which is why we're in check stack. So everything stays the same. If three's vertical, he makes the Virginia call. So he knows he's on his own with number 2 and 1. No Virginia call, he's on top of 2, he's on top of 1. Right? Everything stays the same. So it's identical. Snap of the ball. Screwing down, tempo pedaling. These two guys are in combo in all state. Safety and inside linebacker. Now here, honestly, the big difference, the rover's not on the tight end, so there's no knockback. So now the GM is literally, if he's trying to go vertical, you'll be able to get in his way and slow him up. The biggest part of that, though, is here with number 2, giving the corner time to take his path over number 2 as he's reading him. If you can delay, disrupt his ability to scream up the field, you're helping out your corner. And you might be helping out your safety too if 3's not vertical and these two guys, 1 and 2, are screaming up the field. So whoever his job it is, okay, dime, in this case, safety over here, whoever's job that is to slow up 2's vertical, please make sure you do it. So last and certainly not least, when we call again, same call, 50, grade 4, now it's rotate, boom. Oh, here it is, 3x1 off. It's check steal, it's Dabo, but there's no check stack. Right? One structure, one high, right? One back, one high. So now we can keep our outside linebackers on either side. No overhang. Just as there was no overhang up here, there's no overhang down here. So the safeties rotate over. That's an automatic. Again, they're the ones doing the adjusting. 1x8 Ike, right? So now he's jamming 2. Flat wheel. Still 2 to 1. Now he's 3 to 2. If 3's vertical, he makes the Virginia. If 3 isn't, he says nothing and is rotating over to 2. See, everything stays the same. Right, we got our 7-man box. Remember, when we go rotate, we can add to the box. We got one less in our structure up top in our roof, but that means that one less is up in the box. That's the trade-off. Okay, so he's going to do the same thing here. He's going to show the outside press, then he's going to tempo bail. He's got 1 vertical. Dabo, the outside inside linebackers, though, are going to combo 1 and the running back. The outside linebacker will take the outside route. So if there's a wheel from the back, that's his. Again, if one's vertical, that's the corners, okay? But if one's hard in underneath with the wheel switch, inside backer takes the inside route, right? Outside takes outside. Woo, there it is. Okay? So this is how we adjust to 3x1 when we call either grade 4 or grade 3. So that's our automatic check. Check steal with an invert in base. Check steal with a dabble with a single receiver side and rotate. Okay? And so again, you got to do it because in match quarters, both sides are independently reading their number 2. When there's 3 receivers on one side, you can't do that. Okay, so that's why you got to come up with a different way to play the 3x1. We have an automatic check that ties in with our match quarter rules. That's why we do it this way. When I want to play the 3x1 differently, I tag a call on to the very end, whether it's Oakland, Pittsburgh, but these are all different presentations. Okay, in a future presentation to you, we're going to do the same thing, meaning base and rotate versus 10 3x1 that we call Toledo. But for now, thank you to my subscribers and to those who haven't yet. I hope you do. To everybody, please reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.